effects or call it results of changes that take part in our bodies, like compromised sight, urinary incontinence, and we've had to modify our living space to avoid falls which become part of our daily lives as we age, and many other changes. And we can't forget exercises in old adults, which are necessary and could be a change if you've not been doing exercises. It has to become a change. Even the type of exercises changes as we age. This morning, our group guest speaker will take us through the much needed exercises. He will actually be putting a lot of meat on the bones we have, and that meat will be very, very useful as we age. Yeah, before I introduce the speaker, I'm Christina Kadama, the usual moderator, and I just want to invite you to make sure your mics are closed, are muted as we go along, but do not forget to put your comments and your questions in the chat box. And at an appropriate time, you can raise your virtual hands and contribute live. Online, we have some old adults, and together with our caregivers. Needless to say, the old adults have varied needs, both physical and psychological. We're all looking forward to hear all about muscle changes in aging and how they can best be maintained to keep us in good mobility as we age. Interestingly, many of us hope to live up to that age when they will balinkululira ku kaliba, that age of where they have to lift you out and in of your residence. To all our dear participants, let's have a fruitful session. As our guest speaker this morning, Mr. Ibrahim Bukenya, is taking us through this morning. Mr. Bukenya, Ibrahim, you're most welcome. I'll say a few words about him and ask him to join straight in. Yes, Purposeful Aging is honored to welcome Mr. Ibrahim Bukenya, our guest speaker this morning. Mr. Bukenya is an esteemed chief executive with over 15 years of invaluable experience in the healthcare, in education, and social care sector. Mr. Bukenya holds a BSc in physiotherapy, a doctorate in physiotherapy and management practice from University of East Ernest Cook University. His work experience goes like this. Mr. Bukenya has demonstrated exceptional leadership and expertise throughout his career. From 2009 to 2015, he served as a consultant physiotherapist at AIA Medical Specialist Center in Kampala. where he led the rehabilitation services. Currently, he holds the prominent position of chief physiotherapist and rehabilitation specialist for the Central Region. Mr. Bukenya, in his professional life, has played many roles. Among them is a member of the Uganda Association of Physiotherapists. Mr. Bukenya has contributed significantly to the field through his services as a vice chairman of the Uganda Association of Physiotherapists from year 2008 to 2010. He's a dedicated clinical instructor, having collaborated with several institutions, including hospice. He has consistently advanced the practice and education of physiotherapy. Mr. Bukenya, with those few words, kindly unmute and take us through muscle changes and how to maintain mobility in aging. You're most welcome, Mr. Bukenya.
Thank you very much, our dear moderator. First of all, I apologize. Where I am, I was on a working trip, and yet I had been confirmed to be with you. I hadn't considered the time lag. I thought that by this time I would have reached my destination, but I would like to know if I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. You're very audible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone who is online. I greet you all in Jesus' name, and I hope everyone is okay. We are going to be seeing muscle changes and how to maintain mobility in aging. We can proceed to the next. Before we go through what we have to see, we have to understand what is a muscle, what is aging, what is mobility, and what is exercise. Okay. All these things, we have to understand them to understand our changes and how we can handle the changes. What you see there, that's where I work at the Stoke Rehabilitation Center in Wampeo. Next slide. A muscle is a body tissue consisting of long cells that can contract and produce motion. Basically, our muscles are the ones which contract. For example, if you want to get your cup and take tea, or you want to get a toothbrush and brush your teeth, your muscles have to make movements such that you are able to perform those actions. And our body has about 600 muscles. And these are of three types, which consist of the skeletal muscles, which join the bone, our bones to bones. Then we have the smooth muscles, which help our vessels, the veins and the vessels to work well. And then we have the cardiac muscles, which help our heart. These are just the heart muscles. So those are the three types of muscles we have. The picture there shows our body muscles in different parts of the body. We can go to the next slide. When you look at aging, this is just a process of becoming older progressively, causing the changes in humans that may lead to an increased risk of debility, disease, and death. These are parts of life. So sometimes when we talk about death, we get scared, but we shouldn't get scared because it's part of the process of life. When you look at the diagram or the picture which is there, those are changes which happen when we grow from a particular age to our mid-age, until the advanced age. We can either advance when we can either move with the aid, as you see the person having some aids like a walking stick, others bend, but not always that all people who age bend. Sometimes bending can be due to maybe running away from the pain. Actually, before my practice, I used to think that people bend because they have grown old. But in my practice, I realized that people bend because they are running away from pain. The more they bend, the more they feel better. Next slide. As Cindy said, aging is not an option, and it is not for anyone. It is how gracefully we handle the process. As I said, it's a process, and how lucky we are as the process handle us. So if you have to know how to age well, and it's not an option. If you are still living, you have to grow old. Next. What is mobility? Mobility is to move purposefully as you go through your day by any means. For example, you want to go to the kitchen, you want to go to open the door, you want to make your bed, you want to sleep under your bed, you want to move the cobwebs. So that's what you call mobility, those movements your body make. Or you want to smear yourself Vaseline, or you want to do self-care, maybe combing or that, or putting Vaseline. That is what we refer mobility, the movements you make. Next. We have also to know what an exercise is. An exercise is a physical activity that maintains fitness and overall health, performed for various reasons. For example, as you see in that picture, people are stretching in different way. You can do a stretch just maybe to make sure that your joints are moving well. However, when you're going to do an exercise, usually we have what we call FIT principle. It's F-I-I-T, FIT principle. So it is whereby F stands for the frequency. How many times you have to do a particular exercise. Then we have I, and that I stands for the intensity. Which weight, how heavy is the exercise you are going to do. Then we have the T, and the T is the time. How long are you going to spend doing that exercise when you're doing it? So it has to be measured such that it doesn't bring you harm. That's why you see most of the time when it's your first time to do exercises, you can wake up when you feel fever, and we call that exercise fever. And you really feel sick if you are not being cautioned on how much and how long you have to do particular exercise. So when you are doing exercise, let us always take care. Next. When you look at these pictures, our muscles change in different way. These are people who have advanced in age, but it doesn't mean that when we age, we can't take care of ourselves very well. See, the lady is smart. She has her hair. She put a nice wig, and she's dressed to her youngest. But she's advanced. When you look at the gentleman, he is also dressed to his youngest. Though the hair has gone off, but it still looks good and has the shoes. So when you age, doesn't mean that we have to stop taking care of ourselves. We need to always do our best. Next. We have several changes that happen as we grow, and our muscles change in different ways. You find that our muscles will lose in size. You find that you used to have a bulky muscle. For example, men who lift weights. For example, I can use an example. Mr. Moses Golora. You find that he did muscle building. But when you grow old, our muscles tend to lose size. They will just go on our body if we don't use them very well. Then they also lose strength. You find that you could find it easy to lift up a jerrycan of 10 liters, but as we grow in age, you'll find that it will be a little difficult for you to lift that jerrycan because the muscles can no longer sustain that weight. Then we also have muscle shrinking. You feel like your muscles are smaller. You feel like they are small. So as we grow, they tend to become small because right now we are using, we tend to reduce the activity, we tend to sit, we tend to be sometimes immobile. So we reduce some activities when we age. So we have what we call reduced tone. Reduced tone, this one refers to the tightness of our muscles. For example, when you bend your arm, the triceps. The triceps are the muscles which help us to strengthen, which stretch to bend our arm, as when you want to touch your ear or you want to comb. Those muscles will help you to bend the arm. So you find that you have your muscles like they are falling off, they are shaking. So that's what we refer to muscle tone. They are we call it, let me say flabby, or you can look at your tummy when the tummy is almost falling off, you can't control it. For the men, they lose what we call the six pack. For the ladies who have maybe given birth and they need to do postnatal exercises, sometimes they get the diastasis recti. So you find that the tummy also loosen. So that's what we call reduced muscle tone. We also have what we call healthy muscle thickness. As we age, some muscles will just thicken to the extent that you find it so hard even to make your bed. You can no longer bend. You can't make even your bed, to stretch around your bed to be very difficult because whatever muscle which is replaced is few muscles are being replaced, so whatever is there is being thickened so that you can continue to live. When you look at that picture in the slide, you see the different changes. That's one person, but you look at the faces, we go on changing, but as we move on, life continues. Okay, so we have also changes in our bones. We have reduced bone mass. This is the strength in our bones. That's why you find that it's very crucial that we minimize falls as we age. In men, what causes reduced bone mass? It is low hormone levels of testosterone, while in women, it's due to menopause. And when this happens, our bone, we start to feel arthritis. Arthritis is a general term which refers to general body pain. Then this one will also lead to osteoporosis. Osteoporosis, the weakness in our bones, such that even a mere fall, a slide can cause a crack as we advance in our age. So we have to be careful when we are making movements and exercises to minimize accidents. Next. We also have changes in our joints. Basically, as we grow, we have reduced lubricating fluids in our joints. We have thin cartilage. Thin cartilage, this is the structure that cover our bones. Or some of us, when we are stretching the knees, we feel like they are making some cracking noise, or we feel like there are some noise when we are trying to bend and stretching it. So it's the cartilage which is being wrapped, and most of the time as we grow, it's not reproduced because those muscles are being worn out. It's like tear and wear. So we have shortened ligaments. That's why sometimes you find that it's very hard to sit and stretch your legs long and you touch your toes because we have reduced shortened ligaments in some joints. And then we have reduced joint space, as you see in in that picture. As we grow, the spaces tend to reduce due to the thickness of some muscles, and also the shortness in the ligaments. Next. So most of these changes are lifestyle caused, their lifestyle caused before the time, and not doing exercises and not eating well. So when I say lifestyle, sometimes we don't want our dieting. That picture is showing us how we can eat, and most of the time, in some restaurants, they have what we call a Greek diet. Greek diet is based on normal fruits, more of fruits on your plate rather than the cooked food. Then that one helps us to control our aging. Most of the fruits help us they aren't aging fruits. So the more you eat fruits, the more you age gracefully. Next. So how are we going to maintain mobility as we are aging? We maintain mobility as we are aging by doing the following, as we are going to see in the next slide. But before we maintain mobility, as you look at that picture, it has several things, and it has several changes. We have several changes which happen to our body, the eye, in the heart, in the lungs, in the joints, the arms. So we must have to first understand how each of your body part is going to change, and then you know how you are going to maintain mobility, and then you avoid the risks which can come as a result of doing exercises or trying to see that you maintain that mobility. Next. So do you know you can decide how you age? Basically, studies show that 30% is genetical. There are people who will age fast because they have genes of growing faster, or there are people who will delay aging, and you can't say that that's their right age because they have some genes that delay aging. And then 70% of us, then it's lifestyle, that the way we live, the way we take our lives is what causes aging faster or delays aging. So when we say about lifestyle, we look at the healthy diet, we look at the physical exercises you are doing, we look at the brain exercises you are doing, and we look at the habits. Well, when we say healthy diet, you find that you do little arakat or snacks or fried foods, and you do more of fresh foods. Then when we say physical exercises, always you have some time for yourself. Hello?
You're breaking up a bit.
Oh, sorry. What about now?
Yeah, it might be your network.
What about now?
We hear you clearly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when we talk about the health diets, we are talking about the way you eat. You tend to eat more fresh foods than more of the arakats. When I say arakat, that means that you reduce on how many times you are taking the fried foods, the snack foods, and the time you are eating also your food. You find that most of us sometimes we want to eat late food or late dinners, and yet we have to eat it mainly maybe before 7 or at 7, and then we sleep later at 10. Then when you look at the physical exercises, how many times do you do exercises and how long do you do it? Then we look at the brain exercises. How long do you use your brain to exercise? What activities are you doing? In case I'm breaking, please let me know because I'm in a tunnel.
You're okay now. You're okay.
Okay. We have health habits. The health habits, those ones, how you handle stress, how you socialize, and how you control emotions. Next. Next slide. Okay, to maintain mobility, we have seen you have to change our lifestyle. We must change our mindset. how do we change our lifestyle? Always see what you are eating, take a lot of water, mind everything you are eating. Even when you are going to a party, don't eat everything. Just know what is good for you and your body. Then the mindset, how do we change our mindset? Sometimes when we age, you find that most of the time we tend to be lazy, or we tend to feel sorry for ourselves, or we tend to put that in mind that I can't do this anymore. I can't play this game. I can't go to this place because of my age. But I want to tell you that age is just a number. Most times when you see most of the whites in UK, you tend to find that they are 80 years, but they can walk almost 8 kilometers. There's a time we moved from Morago to Garden City, walking. We had a retired lecturer, made us walk all that journey. And yet for us, we reached when we are very tired, but for her, she was still fit. That one changed my mind and the way I used to see things. So do exercises. As I said, you must get a physiotherapy and exercise to help you to give you which exercise you have to do to see that you maintain your mobility without any risk. Do what makes you happy. Always get activities that can make you happy. Don't do an exercise because so and so is doing it. Do what makes you happy. Then you will find it easy and you'll get the benefit. Then socialize, go to parties, move around, go to shops, see friends. So all the time when you socialize, be happy, go out, and then you see that your mobility is improved. Next. Lifestyle changes we can make. Eat fruits every day. We are so blessed that Uganda, whether what or what, at least we have fruits all over. Which season we have fruits at least every day. Make use of the season. If this season is for pineapples, eat pineapples. If this season is for this fruit, you eat that one because they are cheaper. Then exercise regularly or daily. At least get 20 minutes every day or to 30, making a walk. That one will be so wonderful for you. Take supplements only from your doctor. We have a challenge these days in Uganda because there are so many things, maybe from China or even from other people. They are telling us this one does this one can do this, but we can find out that you can take a supplement which will instead hurt your body. For example, there's a patient I was seeing some years back in 2008. She had the daughter in UK, sent supplements. Instead of those supplements improving her life, again, they tightened her muscles, that the muscles became so taut, and then we failed even to do the exercises. Get sun. The morning sun is very wonderful to get it. So always try to see that you get this sun because it's very good for our vitamin D, and then improve our health. Eat healthy diets. That means reduce on the fried foods. Eat them once in a while. Doesn't mean that you don't have to eat them, but eat them once in a while because our body still needs the oil. Then eat like a Greek, as I said. Eat more of fruits and little food. Then take low sodium. That means that take low salt and avoid adding raw salt on each food we are eating. Next. What are the benefits of healthy diet? When you eat a healthy diet, you reduce the risks of cardiac diseases like the hypertension, at least you reduce the cholesterol, there will be few in your body. Then it reduces also the risk of cancer. And then you also feel better. There are certain foods you eat and you feel like the food is just so stuck in your stomach, you feel bad. It's not, and it delays digestion. And we must know that when we age, there's we have reduced digestive process. So mind what you eat always. Next. Benefits of physical exercises. When we do exercises, this one keeps our body flexible. You are able to bend, you are able to touch everywhere you want to touch, you are able to comb, you are able to bathe yourself, you are able to lift up yourself from the toilet. Even when you visit our village, you can squat on the pit latrine without difficulties. Some of us fear even to go there because we don't have toilet seats. Then it prevents us from getting diseases, because when we do exercises, it improves our immunity. Then it improves saturation. It prevents falls because we have more stamina. So there, it will help us not to fall, because when we do exercises, we are stronger. It improves sleep and the cell regeneration. When you do exercises, it will make you sleep better, because it will stimulate the body to produce that hormone that that hormone that brings sleep. And then also, because you are doing exercise, the body will be demanding produce more cells. Then it improves our sexual life, the way we perform, the way we feel ourselves. It helps us to be sexually active, and also we feel our life is better. Prevents brain dementia by 30 to 40%. When you are exercising, it helps to stimulate your brain not to shrink or not to atrophy. So that one helps you to keep active. Next. So how much exercise do we have to do? We have to do, at least, if you are busy, try to do 20 to 30 minutes per day. You see, our dear president is exercising in his home. That's why I chose this picture, because most of us want to go to the gym. You can save this money just by doing a simple exercises at your home. However much, as long as your room is actually the space you need to do an exercise, you need just a space of your mattress. I mean, the smallest mattress the children are taking to school. A child of maybe, let me say, S1. That space is what you need at your home. Next. What type of exercise do you do? We have endurance exercises. These are exercises that makes us fit. They are aerobic exercise, like brisk walking. You walk fast as if you are late. We have squats. We have dancing. We have swimming. You can go to swim. You can see our dear president is here exercising. This was on a National Physical Day. So I was just showing people that at every age you are, you can do an exercise. Okay, next. Endurance exercises increase stamina to enjoy life.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Bukenya.
It seems to have muted.
Okay. Mr. Bukenya, would you like to unmute? We've lost you.
It improves alertness, and then you are able to stand up, upright, stand up easily from the chair or the toilet. You find that most of us, when we sit on a chair, some of us will spend the whole day sitting, worried of standing. Or when you have to stand, you stand it. When you hold yourself and use a lot of energy, and you end up hurting your shoulder joints or the arm. Next. Okay. Strengthening exercises, these ones improve muscle strength to do our activities of daily living. And we can use simple weights. If you want to do strengthening exercise, you can lift a kilo of beans 10 times, or a kilo of sugar up and down with your arm. You can, that one, you can use it and then eat also the sugar. Then use resistance bands. These are bands which you use. They are very special. Use them, or you can, they are stretching. Other people, if you don't have a band, you can go to these motorcycle repairers. They have those rubbers. We call them encoba. So you can use those encovers and they can help you. They can be like bands. Then use your body weight. You can also use your body weight. You stand and sit 10 times. You can do sit up, or you can do push up using your body weight. Next. We have balancing exercises. Why do we do balancing exercise? This one reduces the risk of fall. When we age, you find that sometimes there's a challenge of getting also dizziness, but when you're doing balancing exercises, at least you reduce these risks of fall. Then you move easily up and down stairs or even other places. Then there's also, you are able to walk backwards and sideways, or you can even walk in a line. Sometimes you find it hard. Some of us, you find that maybe you are staggered when you are walking. So that's the benefit of balancing exercise. I don't know how many can stand on one leg at that age you are on, but you can try it later. Next. What to do now? What we do, like now we have a chair. You can just try out to see how that gentleman is in the front picture. You are sitting on your chair, you try to bend. Most of us, we try to support ourselves on the chair as we go up, but yet you have to try out also to stand without supporting yourself. Then you go through those stages and then you stand upright. That one helps you. Then stand on one foot. You can stand on one foot, helps you to improve balancing. Then you can walk on your heels or toes. When I say in Luganda, otambula ng'okangabadde oba n'otambuza obusinziiro, that one can also help you to improve balancing. Next. We have flexibility exercises. This one improves joint ranges. For example, stretching the shoulders. We do stretches. You do shoulder and arm rolls. As you see in the picture, you can roll your shoulders. And why do we this? We do this to be able to turn when we are driving. When that someone is driving but can't even easily turn the head behind to look behind when he's reversing, or to look in the sideways. Able to bend easily, able to do activities of daily living. That's why we do flexibility exercises. You don't need help always for someone to move cobwebs from your house because you can't stretch your arm. Next. They're what we call brain exercises, and the purpose is use it. The purpose of this brain exercise is either use your brain or you can lose it. So constantly use your mind. Try to read every day. Try to sing. Play brain games. Learn new things every day. Go outing. Stay social. Don't isolate yourself. Most of the time when we age, we tend to isolate, or we tend to be lonely because we didn't maybe make friends as we grow old. Then sleep a lot is also important to help your brain recover. You find that in the past, people used to have mieso. Then the women used to make mats, and that one helps them to make their brains so at least stay longer. Okay, next. This practical session, I was supposed to do it, but I'm still on my way. But you can read lengthen. We have leg strengthening. You hold and count 1 to 5. Like when you are sitting on a chair, you tend to straighten your leg forward and then back, as you see in that picture. Then you can stand up stand up and sit on the chair. Usually also do it 10 times. Yeah. We say 10 times because that is the standard repetition maximum. Then you can do squatting. And when you do squat, because you have to stand up, squatting like as if you are going to the ordinary pit training, squatting and stand up. Most of us, you find that when we squat, we tend to raise our heels, and we make sure that we squat with our toes. So, but try to squat when the whole feet is flat on the ground. If you have never tried it, please don't risk. Or you can support yourself on a bagler, or on maybe on something which you can support yourself and try it out. Because if you've never tried it, you'll fall. Then try to lift, to try to do light jumps, like maybe 30 times. That one also help to improve your strength. Next. Thank you very much. Exercises is biblical. This is a food for thought. For practical training, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is just in our Bibles. If you read the Bible, if you don't, you can also use this verse as you do exercises. It's 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. Thank you very much for your attention. And sorry for any inconvenience if you were not, if I wasn't so clear somewhere.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bukenya. This was very, very enriching. Members, would you like to give a clap, a virtual clap to Mr. Bukenya? It's been very, very insightful session, taking us through what
I'm just like 5 minutes.
Okay. What exercise is and what our bones, our structure is, and now through all the necessary exercises and food and other psychological issues we have to pay attention to on a daily basis if we have to age purposefully. As you settle down, Mr. Bukenya, we are now going to go into questions, comments, and I would like to call upon anyone who has a question or comment to raise their hands or put it in the chat box. And as usual, I will ask Dr. Philippa to take over this session.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Bukenya, for that great talk. We have a few, we had one question so far. I'm just going to read that out, and then I'll also ask a question as we wait for people maybe to unmute or type their questions in the chat. So the first question was, is there anything particular about morning sun in contrast to the other times of the day? And then the other question, which was from me, I was asking what exercises you could do to reverse the bending that you talked about. You're very right. Many of us used to think growing old was associated with bending. So maybe you could talk a bit more what people can do on a daily, or if it happens, whether they're able to get some help for that. You can take those for now, and then we shall take the next round of questions. Mr. Bukenya, are you still with us? Okay.
There are more questions, maybe we could read them.
I wanted to confirm that he can hear us before we... Mr. Bukenya, if you're there, please let us know that you can hear and that you got that first set of questions. It looks like we may have lost him. I'm trying
We
to...
have lost him indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can get him on the phone and then I'll get back.
In the meantime, Dr. Darlene, do you want to chip in a word or two? Oh.
Before it started. They haven't started like the event.
I think those are so-called Bazukulu who are trying to keep the mother active. I think you should bring them to grandparents. We need the exercise. Dr. Darlene, are you able to chip in? We need to hear your side of the world. What you think about this physiotherapy? Our connections, which are not coming on.
Sorry, I have been in and out because of other things I have to attend to on this end. I've just had the last two questions, and I think about the morning sun, it's more the radiation or the UV index that you get. I think there's more radiation in the morning. I don't know whether you can hear me clear. Can you?
Yes, we can. You're loud. You're quite loud and clear.
Yes, so I think in the morning you tend to have, I think the UV radiation tends to build up during the day, and you just want to catch it depending on how cloudy it is or how sunny it is. You want less. The healthy range is more in the early mornings and in the evenings. I don't have the exact numbers on me, unfortunately, to give you, but I think before 9 a.m. is safe. 3 p.m., 4 p.m. is safe. And in the middle of the day, the intensity is high. Although for us Africans, it has less impact, but I think there's that higher exposure tends to put you more at risk of getting skin cancers. And so with solar damage to the skin generally, that in the morning is less damaging and more healthy. So on the whole, that is why it is safer to do it in the morning or in the evening. I think about the aging and change in posture, as has been alluded to, is the general weakness. And I think we tend to sit slumped. Our muscles, especially in the back, when we don't do exercise, we don't stand up, we don't walk. Many elderly people spend most of their time sitting down. So you lose your muscles, just generally shrink, they weaken, they can't hold you up. And if you don't have certain arthritic conditions which predispose you to that curvature, it's largely because the muscles are just so weak and they're not doing their job. And exercise will help, specific exercises will help maintain that posture to some degree. I mean, we naturally lose height of our vertebra. As I said, osteoporosis will give us, make the bones lose height in certain areas. And so those you can't change, but I think in terms of the muscle, if you can keep the condition, they should largely help in maintaining the posture, but that's an active process. One has to keep active all the time. In my experience, I tend to see the other end of the spectrum where people come to hospital and they're really weak. And it's largely because people are so inactive, either because of ill health or they just don't exercise because of their general, I mean, exercise is not an easy thing. Generally, you have to be very active. It is something that you have to push yourself, you know, and you get to a point where sometimes physically you feel it's going to be very demanding. So I think many people will just naturally decondition and, you know, so I find that it is a very active process. I struggle a lot and we struggle a lot. And sometimes you see people and you just can't work against it. So I think generally my end, like I would say those people who are active and keep, you see good 80-year-olds, I say good, that's what I tend to use. People who are really active and they're getting around. And then we have others who are sorry for the noise in the background. And then we have others who, as I said, you know, just won't get around. There's not much you can really do. But I think if everybody is active, people get up in the morning, purpose to walk. If you can't run, if you can't ride, if you can't swim, if you can't jump, at least do some walking. The more vigorous, the better. That helps keep the condition. Sorry, I came in a bit late because I'm working as well. So that's why I can't really give a lot at this moment.
Thank you so much. We appreciate. Is Dr. Bukenya now available?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry for that. I had to change my connection to another connection because I had reached my destination.
Right.
Yes, we are going through questions. I think Dr. Philippa can guide you.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Darlene, for that contribution. It was a good one, even when you were not prepared. We appreciate that. So I'll get back to the questions in the chat because I think Darlene has handled the first two that we had. Maybe we could ask Ms. Bukenya to talk about exercises to help reversing the back, the bending for the back. And then he can also talk about, someone asked what's the right time to eat fruits. And then there's a question, how can older people, especially women, deal with chronic back pain? Is exercise useful? If so, what specific exercises? Then another question is, when I wake up in the morning, my feet hurt as I step down. What's the cause and what do I have to do to avoid or mitigate it? My knee is swollen and there is a rubber-like feeling when I try to bend. Otherwise, thank you very much for this information. Right, can I ask you to take that set of questions and then we'll ask Richard to unmute after you have
All right,
Okay,
thank you so much. First of all, I'll first go direct to the person who feels pain, the foot when he wakes up. Basically, when you wake up and at the moment you step down, you feel that pain in your feet, and afterwards it clears. That is a sign that you are getting problem with your back, because usually what happens is that when you sleep, sometimes you might be using a poor mattress, or sometimes it might be just a back pain coming. So then when the sciatic nerve, that's a nerve at our waistline, when it's compressed, it will be compressed and then you'll get that problem of the pain in the feet. As you start walking up, but later it clears. You feel like you're walking on thorns. That shows that you are getting back problem. You can improve or prevent it by doing some exercises, as I'm going to say as I answer the question of what particular exercise. These are supposed to be simple exercises which we can do. One, as a lady, I don't know the age, but mainly once you reach menopause, you must be mindful about which exercise you do, because at that age, we have a lot of our body draining the calcium we have from our bones to the body. So meaning that we have weak bones, so we have to do light exercises. You can do the sit-up, standing and sitting, just on a normal chair. You can do the squatting, you support yourself. You can touch the burglar of the door, those who have burglars of the doors, or you can just hold yourself on a tree around and then you squat and stand up. You can do 10 times. You can do walking. Walking alone improves this. As long as you can do the walking like 20 minutes. You can do uphill. You can walk in a leveled terrain. You can walk upstairs as long as you spend 20 minutes every day. Consistency is the key. As long as you are consistent, it will improve. Then you can do the stretches. You can sit on the mat and then try to touch sideways. Or for example, let me say, when I say sideways, if you sit on a chair, try to take your right arm to touch the back of the left leg of the chair. If you are sitting on a chair, you sit upright, take your right arm without twisting or turning your waist, take it across your chest to touch at the back of the left leg of the chair, which is behind of that chair. That one is stretching. That one is good. You can do arm stretching, as if you are pulling something from the ceiling. That one can be 10 times. Or you can do what we call, I don't know whether you have ever seen people throwing bricks. You can pick something down, you stand at ease, you pick, like maybe you can put your mangoes or oranges down, or passion fruit. Pick one passion fruit, stand upright after picking it, throw it to the corner of your room, then pick another one, throw it when you're upright to the corner of your room, and afterwards walk and pick them, put them back to the basket. In so doing, you are bending, you are becoming upright, and then you are stretching to the corner of your room. That one also helps to improve. Then there's what we call back stretching. You can sleep on your stomach, on your tummy, then put the arms under your chin and try to raise your chest up. That one will also be helpful. Or you can lie on your tummy, press both of your arms on the floor, on the mat, then try to raise your elbow so that your chest can go up. That one will also help. For the meantime, I think that one can be enough and easy to be done at home. But when you feel like the symptoms are persisting, then you can consult a nearby professional to help you, such that you don't worsen. Then when someone asks about the swollen knee, there are so many things that can cause swollen knee. Sometimes it is due to wear and tear, which we call osteoarthritis, or sometimes it's due to rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis, this one is autoimmune. It has no medicine, but what you do, you just do less exercises such that you don't worsen it, but you keep on moving. It's just controlled by own analgesics and also the diet, because you must avoid taking packed foods, juices. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, the more you take packed or preserved foods, the more you'll increase the uric acid in your body, and when uric acid increases in your body, it will increase the joint pain. Thank you very much. I don't know whether I've forgotten any.
Thank you so much, Dr. Philip. I want to be selfish and also ask a question.
Okay.
Mr. Bukenya, you've given us exercises. We've seen the president, and we do have some caregivers online who are looking after older adults and maybe in the village. Do you think that me as a 65-year-old woman, housewife in the village, I walk to the latrine, I go to the garden, get in Dagala and, walk around the house, is that good enough exercise? And what brain exercise would you recommend to a rural-based adult?
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, but I feel that
Mm.
we've done a lot on someone who is in urban settings, sort of.
You are right. Now, if you are up country, you go up, you wake up, you dig, you get the banana leaves. That one is okay. It's part of exercise and you walk. That is very good. But you find that most of the time, what you are doing is forward bending. You need also to do backward bending. When most of the time when you are treating the back problem for people who have back conditions, we do the opposite. We tell you to bend backwards. Most of the time, we rarely bend backwards. So someone can just sit and roll your blanket and try to sleep on it with your back. You lie on it, on your back. Or you put a pillow around your lower back and you sleep on it. It will arch your back and to help you to bend backward. Once you bend backward, you hope to align those bones back and also relax the muscles which have been always bending forward. Then the brain activities you can do in the village. You can learn weaving. You can learn weaving because in the villages we have banana fibers, ebyai. You can try to get 3 of them and make a rope from ebyai, those banana fibers. That thing, it improves you because you have to concentrate. At least that one can help. You can try to learn puzzles. I don't know whether the villages can be puzzles or some people can get puzzles, or you can you can try to arrange every time when you wake up. Try to arrange your house in a different way. Try to match colors to make to make them different.
Some Kenya, I'm with my ducks and goats and what? The colors? No. What colors are you talking about when you are in the village?
Of the cups and plates.
Oh, the cups, okay.
Mm.
Sorry, did we lose you again? Seriously, I know we do use the pit latrine. That is already a very good exercise, but many knees are very...
Get a thread. If your eyes are not yet affected, try to pass it through a needle. I don't know whether we still have needles, but at home we still have needles because we do some knitting. So try to pass that thread in the needle, in the eye of the needle. It helps you to concentrate and also task your brain to see that it concentrates to make sure that at least that thread passes through that. Try to do cooking, different meals, the way you cut the potatoes. That one also help.
Okay. Thank
There's
you.
a hand that has been up
Just
for a while.
wanted to
Really
chip
want...
in. Can I chip in?
Okay, Darlene, after that, we'll have Richard unmute and ask his question.
Yeah, sorry about the brain activity. I think the what I tend to generally encourage people is learn something new. It could be anything, you know. If you can't go out, if you learn, you can just be listening to some music, you start dancing. You don't have to know how to dance. Just learn a new dance. Stimulate yourself to learn a new dance or move in a different way, you know, other than what you normally do. As you say, any activity that is different from what you do will develop new pathways in your brain, and that way you tend to exert or exercise your brain. If you're on the farm or something like that, I think it's just principally just doing something new. I think that's what I tend to do, to tell people. The other thing, I think somebody mentioned about foot pain. And I just wondered, are we talking about plantar fasciitis? There's a lot of things that could cause pain. It's worthwhile having that looked into so that then we can have it an appropriate management tailored to your issue, and then maybe an exercise to strengthen your calf muscles or your feet muscles might just help to take that pain away. So have it looked into so that you can have a directed therapy to your foot pain.
All right. Just to confirm, Ibra, are you still with us? I'm not.
Yes, I'm still there, please.
Okay, all right. So we're going to take a question from Richard, and then we shall take some more from the chat for you to answer. Richard, if you can unmute and ask the question.
Thank you so much, moderator and the presenters, for this very wonderful lesson. I think if possible, every week we could be having choosing a either in the evening or early morning, and we have such important talks that enhances our well-being. My question has even partly been answered, but when the latest facilitator talked about dancing. Now, we usually hear people say that if they have backache, then I shouldn't involve in a number of some physical exercises, however small they could be. Is it true, or if they are light, as we have been shown, they will help me to improve on the problem that I have of the lower backache? I sometimes fear, even if I see that I can't do some little activities, because some people talk differently about people with backache. I don't know whether being quite clear on my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. You are right. More in the past, people they were used to tell them, even sometimes the health service providers used to tell them, you need a bed rest. But in acute phases, when you really sitting, turning, making any slight movement, it hurts. There you can rest a bit. But as long as you can manage, or you can sustain that discomfort you have, the best thing we tell you, you walk and you engage in those light activities. The only challenge we have with, maybe sometimes research shows that when you have a back problem and you do vigorous jumping, it can lead sometimes to compaction of your discs in the lower back in case they had slipped, and your bones are weak. And as we saw, because there's reduced joint space, your spine has also joints. So when you do vigorous jumping, the jumping usually sometimes people do, sometimes it can aggravate. But as long as you do anything and doesn't aggravate the pain, it helps you, because the more you do the light exercise, it stretches your muscles, it stretches your back, and it makes your bones move. So it will not increase it. Actually, what we advise these days to people who have back issues, walk, do all the activities that do not affect you or do not aggravate the pain. Do them. It will help you. And also in the long run, you improve. It will not increase the problem. Then maybe to add on, something I forgot about the pain in the foot, as my colleague has also added on it. There's what we call calcaneal spur. This is a pain in the heel. It feels like when you stand on it, it's like there's something piercing, but it doesn't go away. That one can be caused by putting on poor shoes or big shoes, whereby your feet continues to slide in, your feet goes forward and backward, so that one increases that pain. That one, most of the time, we advise you to get either a soft shoe or a calcaneal silicone pad to put in your shoe. For it, once it comes, it will not go, because even when you go for surgery, it will still grow because it's a bone growth. Thank you.
Right, I'm going to read a few more questions from the chat for you. And I hope I have, forgive me if I've skipped any questions. There's a question from Rebecca asking if there is any remedy to reducing bone cartilage and fluid as we age. And then a question from Loy who says, I'm 82. I can't bend and squat. What exercise do you recommend for me? Another question is pain in the lower back. I have learned it's a sciatic nerve. What causes sciatica? Does it happen to all older people? Another question is we need to hear this as often as, this is a comment, as often as possible. Many elderly people are in wheelchairs for not following the advice early on in life. Start early and be consistent to get more benefits from it. Yes, both the brain and muscle demand the same. Use it or lose it. Get going. Let's get going. That was a comment. Let me read two more. Any specific exercises to restore facial palsy to the normal side? Is there an injection they give at the back of the spine for people who frequently get muscle pains? Are there any side effects to that infection? And is there a very valuable, this is a very valuable session. We need more of such. That's a comment. This is the last one, then you can answer. What about, I think you talked about plantar fasciitis. Yeah. I will not go over that.
Thank you very much. I missed the first question.
The first one, just a minute. I hope I remember where I started. Is there a remedy to reducing bone cartilage and fluid as we age? I think that's where I started.
You know, aging is a process, as we said. I want to compare it with a car tire or our sandals. Let me say sandals at home. When you put on, because we are using our cartilages, we are walking every day, they wear. But the way we can reduce their faster or reversing them, we can't reverse, but at least we can reduce their wearing out by monitoring what we eat and also exercising, and also see the shoes we are putting on always. We can reverse and we can reduce, we can delay its wearing out if we monitor what we eat and we do the exercises, and also we monitor what we put on. High heels in ladies causes more tear and wear in their knees and their ankles. So we should monitor also that. Then about sciatica. Sciatica is just a compression of, that is a pain due to the sciatic nerve. It's just a nerve being compressed because the bone, the vertebra at lumbar 5 or lumbar 4, lumbar 5, or lumbar 5, sacral bone number 1, the nerve is being compressed around there. Once it's compressed, or once the disc shifts from its alignment, we have holes in our bones. So it's the pressure which exerted. That's why most of the time when you go to the hospital to see a physiotherapist or a specialist who will see you, they will always ask for a back x-ray, not a leg x-ray. And then sometimes you get confused. And they'll treat your back and then you get okay. So it's not always that every elderly person will get sciatica. No, not most of them. Because sciatica is just a pain running at the back of your leg up to the feet. So that's a sciatic nerve. But not always all older people get them, because not every elderly person gets a slipped disc or a herniated disc. No, they will just have some back exercises. Another question was plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis, this one sometimes, it was my colleague who was talking about it, but let me say what I can say about it. This is just our muscle in the base of the foot. In case you run, we have marathons. In case you just wake up and you go for that marathon, our foot has got arches. The muscles are going to stretch suddenly, and then you are going to tear them. You are going to strain them. Once you strain them, hello? Hello? I don't know whether my colleague is on to answer that.
You're okay. Please go on.
Okay. All right. So once you strain them, you'll get that pain. You find it hard to stretch whenever you are walking, because when you press your foot down, the muscles of the foot are going to stretch because it has particular arches. So you find that the middle arch will not change with the forward arch or the third arch. So in that process, you feel that discomfort, the pain in the feet, and you get that pain. But that one improves. But the other one, which we call a calcaneus spur, for it doesn't improve. It doesn't go away. Even if you start walking, even if you are doing exercise, it doesn't go. It will always pierce you. Thank you very much. I don't know if I've forgotten any.
Sorry, I was speaking while muted. I think you have handled them. There's I'm going to pick out questions now and leave out just the comments and specifically questions to do with exercise, because some of them might not be for the scope of this talk and we might not be able to answer them. Some of them may actually need you to see a doctor to get a consult. There's a question about muscle pulls. I have a problem of muscle pulls usually after a deep sleep. I wake up from half body down is in deep pain. Then this one is talking about aging. I'll skip that. And there was a question about I can't bend and squat. What exercise do you recommend for me, an 82-year-old? From my back to down, the pain is so much. Left and right leg all in deep pain, but I'm working every day. Someone is attesting to the fact that colors have helped to change their mood and reorganizing the house. Yes, I think the rest are comments. You can take that set while I look through the next.
Okay. So 82 year, we look at the bone strength. What we can do, we look at flexibility exercises. We can just raise our arms up, as you know, as we do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. We can do that when we are sitting in a chair. Try the flexibility exercise, simple ones. Then we can do some rolling exercises, or kwevulungula. You put a mat down and you turn from one side, you sleep on the side, you sleep on the stomach, then on the back. You can do that slowly, like 5 times. But you have to take care, because sometimes when people do it for the first time, they get dizzy. Then you can just get your arms to the wall. You stand on the wall, you face the wall. Then try to stretch your arms on the wall, upwards and downwards, upwards and downwards. That one will help also flexibility. So basically, with that person, we need to first start with flexibility exercises before you go to endurance, so that will prepare the muscles, because they are old, and then the age is also advanced, and also the bones are weak. So you have to take care of that. Thank you so much. Though I request if maybe I can take one more question. Late for another program. Maybe when there are other questions, people can send them on the WhatsApp. You can share them with the WhatsApp number. I will maybe answer them later.
Okay, there were several other questions. Maybe we can extract them, and if people can put their contacts in the chat, we can give them your responses.
Yes,
after.
please.
Okay, all right. I'll hand back to you, moderator, since the presenter has to go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Philippa, for the Q&A. For Mr. Ibrahim Bukenya, we've been very, very touched by all the advice, the information you've given us. I'm sure many of you here who are not yet 80, 70, 60, you've taken good note of all the advice, beginning from food, the food you eat, exercise, how you spend your day, how you arrange even the ducks. Put there some black ones and white ones, and make sure your brain is active in everything you do. And that purposely done, not random, but purposely done. We are very, very grateful, Mr. Bukenya. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For all of you who have spent the last 1 hour and a half with us, thank you so much for coming. We'll meet again at the end of this August, Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you and bye.
Bye.